All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show. Listen, okay. So, y'all all know that today's session is a live coaching session. And I will say that this is the first time that we've coached live on a Dr. Kiki Ramsey show, but I definitely think it's not going to be the last time. Here's the thing. I am an executive coach, a positive psychologist, and one of the things I pride myself with is helping people go from A to where they want to be. And so that is my goal. And so that's going to be my goal on today's show with my very special and absolutely brave and courageous guest, Sierra. She's going to be coming live, and this is going to be her first time being coached as well. And so I'm so excited to have her on the show today. And when y'all know, we're going to get in it right after this. Sierra. Welcome to the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show.
You're Oprah. Feel honored. This is amazing.
I'm so happy you're here. First of all, I'm very happy that you were super brave enough to reach out and say, yes, I want to be coached. And because, I love coaching, but I love doing it in this manner, but I've not done it in this manner on the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show.
And I'm the first.
Yes. Yes. So it's so good. I'm so excited that you're here. And so what I will say is that this is going to be a pure coaching session. I am a master certified coach through the International Coaching Federation. And my whole goal with this session is to help you get from A to where you want to be. Right. And so we're going to work towards that during this session together. You may see me writing down a little bit of notes as we talk, because that's just normally how I always coach, to make sure that I am staying on point with helping you get to that place that you want to be. So you're good with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's get started. What do you think we should talk about on today's call?
I really want to talk about faith restoration, just religious, spiritual, all things God. I am wanting to get back in the church. So, for those of you who don't know, I am transgender, I'm a trans female. So, it's very nervous for me to go back in being a part of the LGBT community. I'm just a little nervous. So I just want to know, I will catch any gems, any diamonds, any rubies that you want. Look, any brooches, okay, that you want to. I will receive it. I just need to know your advice. So.
Well, no, I'm really excited because, first of all, this is Pride Month as well, right? And you're here, you're being yourself, you're showing up authentic, and I can appreciate that as well. And so you talked about faith restoration. Give me a little bit more detail about that for you.
I had tremendous faith. I have tremendous faith. That's present, past, and future. So I was raised Baptist.
Okay.
My family raised me, but it's kind of with a little twist. My grandmother was Presbyterian. And you'll never guess this, Dr. Kiki, my great grandmother was Methodist. So I definitely had so many questions growing up. I served in the military, and my battle buddy that I was with went to Jehovah Witness services. So I feel like I lost the faith a little bit just because I didn't know what to believe, because I'm asking people what is the right thing, what is the wrong thing. But I felt like honoring God was just enough. But it's so many different denominations, and I felt like when I transitioned, I kind of felt like nobody would accept me in the church. I have strayed away because I'm feeling I'm at a comfortable place in my life. So I don't know. I don't know the next step. So that's why I need help.
Okay, gotcha. And so I heard that, of course you grew up with a whole bunch of different influences around faith in your life. And so tell me where you are currently in your faith walk.
I go to AME church, and I'm bedside Baptist right now.
Okay,
Okay.
I got you. I got you. So
Oh,
mine is spiritually too.
I've enjoyed the church. I'm just a little bit, I don't know if the word's apprehensive, but I'm a little nervous. I have a Bible, but girl, now they doing the app. So I just really um pray every day, and I just am on my Christian experience.
Okay, gotcha. And so what is your main question around faith restoration? What's your main question that you have?
I guess how do I get back out there, I guess. Like uh
Mm,
how do I know what church is right for me? I guess.
okay.
I really am yearning for a maternal black woman's advice on some things, because the church can be good. We know it's no shade, but I don't want to go to a church that's so diverse where I'm the only African American member there.
Okay. So I see that so there are certain things that are important to you about finding a church home.
Yes, some nuances that I love. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So one of the questions is what church is right for you? Because right now you're at Bedside Baptist. For all of y'all don't know what that means, she watches church from home. So we gotta break it down for the people. Right. So she watches church at home. And so okay, so you watch church from home and but you want to get back into a church home.
Yes, ma'am. I would love to be involved physically, like praise dancing, singing. I just want to, even the usher. I love showing up. You know.
Gotcha. I love that. Praise dancing, singing. Um, and what is right now, what's actually stopping you from doing that and getting back into a church?
I just need to get the wardrobe all together. Even though I look right and tight today,
You do,
um,
girl, you look cute
got
now.
got the little prints on. I
I
just
love it.
want to be presentable, and as a newfound woman, in my experience, it's so much to just the attire, like
Mm,
formal business. I get so many compliments when I do my short skirts, but I just be thinking like, is this appropriate for church? Is it club attire? Like, I just love attention, but I don't want to like give out the wrong message. But you can't please everybody, child. But I just wanna, just come to church looking nice.
So we talked about you want to find you want to find a new church home, you want to make sure that you come to church presentable. Does your gender identity have anything to do with the fact that you're not in church right now?
Yes, ma'am, because I'm a little nervous.
Okay, talk to me about that.
I just want to be, well, not accepted, but just like kind of acknowledged. Like, I don't want to be misgendered in church. Because look, where I'm from, they have you stand if you're a new member. And so you got to talk and say some stuff, or I don't know if you just wave your hand. Like, I don't know where I'm going into. And
Mhm.
feel like a lot of my friends kind of already wrote it off. Like, girl, I ain't going to no church, because they connotate it with being negative. But I'm like, girl, have you ever like been to church being trans? So how do you know they're going to not
Mhm.
love you? So if all I have is little skimpy clothes with, your breast out and your butt out, which is fine for Monday through Saturday, you know,
Mhm.
find some stuff for Sunday, and then I just want to go into a church place that won't call me a man. I don't want, no he or I mean she. I just want to kind of be,
Mhm.
as if you can't just call me Sierra, and then we'll just go there. But I just don't know. I wish I knew somebody who was in a church home and that I could tag along.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so for our session for today, you want to work on what I'm hearing is really trying to find out what a good church home would look like,
Hmm.
finding a place that is accepting of you as the person that you are, and also making sure that you can find some place that that you feel comfortable with the way that they dress and being able to show up just as who you are. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yes, ma'am, because I really just want to present myself nice. And even if it's an affirming church, just anything. I just feel a little empty and guilty on Sundays, not doing nothing.
Gotcha. Okay. And so why is this important to you right now?
I feel like everything in my life that happens for a good reason, the one thing I do is always be like, "Ooh, thank you, God." It's just important because it's always on my tongue. And I'm just like, for someone who doesn't go to church, I always say, "Oh, thank God." And, "Oh, I'm praising God." And it's God. And because I guess it's my root, it's what I grew,
Mhm.
and it's what's been instilled in me. And I really feel like, I don't know, I just can't let that go. And I am like, my mother has passed away, and
Mhm.
my
Sorry to hear that.
yes, and my dad and my relationship was really rocky. So
Okay.
I feel like it's significant to my life because with all this stuff that's happening, I feel like, oh my God,
Mhm.
the Bible, what's gonna happen? Because girl, listen, when they had that air quality thing, I thought, oh my God, this is
Oh,
coming.
yeah.
Like, Jesus, I love you, right? Like,
Right. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you want to be back in the church because it's kind of how you were raised, and it also sounds like you love God. You have that personal relationship, and church has been a part of that. And I understand it even myself. Like I moved from Maryland to Atlanta, and one of the first things we did was to try to get it back into church because I love going and being in community, and I think that that's important. Is community one of those things that are important to you?
It is, because growing up, they always used to, we're gonna take one for the tithes, two for the offering, but three, Miss Bessie May can't pay a light bill. We're gonna see if we could just cut. And I used to love that growing up.
Mm.
As a young male and as a female, I don't know, like I feel like my morals, ethics, values, everything's all over the place. So I'm just trying to get
Mm. Wow. You
straight.
Yeah, you just said a lot there. Morals, values, ethics, and everything like that. What do you feel about that? Because at the end of the day, right? Um, I grew up in a black church. I know how black church can be, right? I mean, and and I know that it can be difficult, right?
Mhm.
Trying to figure out morals and values. And so, where are you at right now? What are your values as it pertains to the church?
My values pertain to the church. I really want, an intimate setting, and I
Mhm.
want like an interactive pastor. I definitely want, people who reach out. I definitely want a caring congregation, and I definitely want, you know, someone to, I don't know, just really reach out and just be an assistant. So I guess my ultimate, to answer your question, value would just be just someone who just care. Because me
Mhm.
growing up, it was just a fashion show. They would just come to church, just you could not wear jeans. It was no casual dress down. So, my values now are, I just want something more than just to go just to say I'm going.
Yeah, yeah. You want to be a part of something, is what I'm hearing. You want to be a part of
Because
the community.
that aspect is not there because I'm an only child. So this is
Mm.
void actually that we
Oh,
are.
okay. Oh, okay. So what I'm hearing is that you're feeling a void of family, right? A void of community, and your hope is that the church can fill that void.
Ding 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 ding. Okay, bingo. Yes, ma'am.
So, but what I'm also hearing is that there is some kind of there's a little bit of fear with going into the church because you're transgender, right? And you just want to make sure that you can find a place that will accept you.
Yes, because I get discriminated, some places. So you don't want the church to be a place where you have to have your guard up and be so defensive. Like,
Mhm.
want to relax and just be honest and but that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. So, so when was the last time you were in church, right? not Bedside Baptist, right? Like, when was the last time you actually even went to church?
It was 2 Sundays ago. I was trying out because my homegirl, who's also trans, I don't mean to tell her business, but she went there too. So I was just like, okay, this is my chance. So I went in there kind of, on edge. I sat in the back. I didn't really want to say too much, but I got some numbers, and it was an experience. Only because that's what they just tell us as African Americans to do. Because I'm pro therapy. I'd be like, I need to talk to somebody. They're like, girl, pray. And I'm like,
Mm,
pray
mm,
to who? Why? And I'm just like, okay, well, let me see if there's something in there. Because, I had lost my job and prayed, and I got another one. So I'm like, oh my God, this works. This was like, okay, yes.
okay. So you went to church, and you said it was an experience. What kind of experience, though?
It was a good one because I was so paranoid. I thought it was going to be negative, and it was a great experience because compared to how I grew up, coming
Mhm,
at 8 o'clock and leaving at 12, the
mhm,
service was shorter. The people were more interactive. They fed you after. I said, okay, this is kind of more.
mm.
Should I rededicate my life back to Christ? But I just really just I need to stop caring what people think. But I just was trying to get over that hump.
Right. So you just said something. You need to stop caring what people think. Tell me about that.
Because I just wanted to be perfect. But that's impossible, child. You
Mm,
can't do that. But I just was like, in that service, I think I made 3 outfit changes. This dress is too long. This dress is too plain. Oh, this dress is too sexy. I gotta tone it down. And just every part of anxiety and trauma
mm,
kind of took it on myself. And I was almost late. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well,
mm.
look, pulling up the benediction. We gotta go next time. So, I just was like, just always feeling like, how are they gonna perceive me? Are they gonna judge me? But then my friend was like, girl, they're gonna judge anyway. So I'm like, all right, well,
Mm.
let's go. Let me stop being scared. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. So your friend was, was right. They will probably judge you anyway, right? How does that make you feel when you hear that, though?
How does it make me feel? It makes me feel like I have to get my poker face. I have
Mm,
to give people grace. Because
mm,
people probably don't know what transgender means, or they just feel like um, they see exposure with like feminine men and drag queens, and they probably don't mean to say like, well, he looks nice, and it's just the intention isn't there. And then I just have to kind of like give a lot of forgiveness, and then sometimes it is shades, and then I just have to be like, okay, thank you, sister. Like I just have to kind of just remain in the moment and remember why I'm here. Because I
mm,
was, so my friend was like, "Are you going for them or for you?"
That was a good question, friend. Friend, is is the thought of what people will say or think about you keeping you from finding this church that you want to find?
Yeah, because I feel like if I'm at home, while I'm at home, my mental health is just great, and I feel like, am I self sabotaging by going
Mm,
journey with this new church? Am I inviting this? Because then if something happens, I would feel like my psychic and conscious would say, well, girl, you went down there. You already know what was going to happen. And you expect them to
mm,
like you? Oh, yeah.
mm,
What you talking on? And then half of it would be like, if it's a good experience, I'm so glad you went. So I feel like I'm always battling that. So I'm just like, listen, just chest out, be calm, be confident, and just think positive thoughts. So I'm trying to self assure myself every day. But those negative thoughts do
mm.
a lot on Sunday mornings.
Wow. Is it just that they come up on Sunday mornings, or is this something that happens often in your world?
Often.
Often. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell
Yeah.
me, tell me, tell me about how this shows up in your life often.
Just with me over analyzing, I
Mhm.
cannot, and I just would not pay attention to anything, live life, just being free. And then me suddenly just stopping, asking questions, paying just a little more attention. And once you get disrespected once, you start to look for it. And then it's just an innocent mistake. You know what I'm saying? If I could, because I don't, girl, I talk to you all day. An example would be I went to the hospital
Mhm.
for a little checkup. It was nothing major, and I forgot my purse. And the lady at the front was like, "No, come on now. You have to have your ID so I could, So I told them my name and everything. They gave me the wristband.
Mhm.
And I brought it home, and the same friend who is trans, she's a little older. She was like, you need to take it off. And I said, oh no, girl, I didn't get a note for my job. Let me just leave this on and bring this to work as proof. And then I showed my manager, and my manager was looking like the gender said you, girl. So I was like, what does that mean? You means undecided. But the person that was typing this in for my intake, we was laughing and kiki and fooling along. I thought we was friends. So I felt like, oh, like she was
Mhm.
shady. So like moments like that now when I go into church and they just be like, good morning. And I just say good morning back. To relate that to the correspondent of Sunday morning, I remember someone was trying to shake my hand, and I was so traumatized because I had press on nails. And I was like, why you want to shake my hand like a man? Why won't you give me a hug like you do these women? And I was in my own head too much. I was
Mm.
like, it was
Mm.
pain. And I just was,
Right.
I need to calm down.
Mm. Mm. And so when you get in your head like this, what do you do to overcome being in your head like that?
Retail therapy, I shop, I eat, I watch TV, I take a shower. Yes, I don't deal with it. I know, I'm sorry. I am the part of the blocking generation, so I just need to work on my communication skills. But I just feel like by the time we talk about it,
Mhm.
double down. Oh, I meant, no, you know what you meant. But I have to receive it, and I have to like, I am very calm, self-aware,
Mhm. 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 Mm.
ability stuff, but I just felt, you know,
Yeah.
I,
Well, what I'm hearing is, I'm hearing that, this it can be difficult, right? It can be your everyday life can be difficult, which then means that it can definitely be difficult when trying to figure out a church home and everything. And so, but learning how to manage your everyday life and what you do when you feel these prejudices against you is something that can be very important that can potentially help you in everything that you do, right?
yeah, I'm definitely scared, because it's a fear a little bit, and nobody wants to feel like that. So,
No, especially not every day, right? Like, especially not every day that you wake up, you don't want to feel fearful and scared of just being who you are, right? Waking up and being who you are. So your friend who is also transgender goes to a church and you went to that church 2 weeks ago, and we're talking about you getting back into the church and finding a church home and everything like that. Is that an option? Because you mentioned before you wish you had a friend that you could go to church with and be with. That seemed like a friend right there, is it not?
well, she actually about to move, so I feel like that's God. I feel like that's God testing me, like, all right, now I didn't give you what you wanted, so now you got introduced there. So now, just because she moving and she not gonna go, you can still go. I'm like, yeah, you right.
Oh, okay. So now we opening up some doors. Okay. So you told me that it was fine, that you felt good once you got there. Is this a place that you can actually see yourself going? Did you meet anybody in particular that you connected with?
I did. It's just I'm getting those butterflies, like, is this too good to be true? Like, I guess
Mhm.
because the moment somebody says something that that is innocent, but you take as disrespect. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Let me get my purse. I'm gone. I knew I shouldn't have. And then it's like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, oh, my bad, girl. Like,
Dr. YSL, I see you.
yeah, baby.
um, no, okay, so let me ask you this though. You live, this is who you are, right? You live, you live a life, right? How 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 resilient, I like to use the word resilient, are you to what people have to say, right? Because the way that I see it, and I work in diversity, equity, and inclusion all day, right? And like we said before, people gonna talk, people gonna say stuff. Does it
Yeah,
make it right?
no.
No, absolutely not. Does it happen? Yes, you said yourself, it happens often. So, how resilient are you when these things happen? Because I think that will give you a little bit of answer into this new church.
It's low. I'm sensitive.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm
Are
Scorpio.
Me too.
Number
When's your
four.
birthday?
Number four.
November 8th.
Yeah, once our feelings is hurt, everybody else is out. Like you get
I understand you. I understand you, right?
sore, right?
Right. Yes. Which is the reason why, though, I ask you, can you be resilient? And resilience is your ability to bounce back quickly after things happen, right? And I think that in life, resilience is just required of so many of us, because if you're not resilient, then all these things that happen to you on a daily basis, you let them affect your life,
Mm,
right? Versus you showing up and affecting how you want to live your day, all of the elements. So, what you're saying is, because you said I'm sensitive, I'm just using your words, right? I'm sensitive, I'm Scorpio, and my feelings get hurt. That may be true, and that is fine, because that's how you experience things. But when we show up and we let all of the outside elements affect us in such a way that it changes our mood, then we are no longer in control. The elements and whatever else, and they and she and whatever else is in control of us, right? So my question is there a way for you to be able to show up against some of these things that have happened to you more resilient?
mm. I guess I never thought about it like that. I have to do some soul searching so I can let it roll off my sleeve like water.
Like
Yeah.
water. And I mean, and here's what I gotta say about that, right? I know a lot of people will say you got to be strong and da 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 da, and people will even say to you, probably, you chose this life, and so you have to deal with and all these kinds of things, right? I know you hear all kind of things. I know it because I work in this space all the time. But at the end of the day, yes, it does hurt, and that's okay that it hurts. There are some people who say stuff to me, and I'm like, oof, like wow, right? So I can only imagine the things that you hear, but there has to be a level of
Right.
resilience when it comes to this, because unfortunately, people be peopling all the
Hello.
time,
Hello.
right? And unfortunately, you're going to probably continue to get, just like racism ain't going nowhere, sexism, all of that, homophobia, it's not going to go anywhere. So my question to you is, what can you do, and how do you want to be as it pertains to you understanding that a lot of these things are going to still continue to happen?
I guess I want to be, we want to give soft. We don't want to be so aggressive to the point where one person says something and I'm lashing out. And really, I can handle myself, but it's just, you can cuss and fuss out on the street, but in church, you gotta have that level of decorum. So I'm trying to just be professional and mature. I don't really know how. Do you have any pointers of what I could say and do to maybe just deflect? I really, haven't thought about that.
I mean, you probably done it already though. Like,
I
I mean, you can't tell me that every time something happens to you, you go off. I can't see that.
okay,
I am I am I wrong? Do you go off every single time somebody says something wrong or does something wrong to you? Even though it's not right, do you go off every time?
girl, it's bad.
Is it? See, Era.
But you know what? So I'm gonna give you an example. And sometimes I do overreact, but by the time that I feel like I overdid it and I want to apologize, I'm already like yesterday even. I was at Wendy's and like your sister was broke. I was shopping and I said, man, I just want a frosty. You know what I'm saying? I got a tattoo on my face of a strawberry. So, I just was like strawberry. The flavor. It's
Mhm.
I got $2 on one card, $1 on another card, and he put it in and gave it to me. Something told me my I don't have women's intuition, but I'm gaining some bad angel, good angel. So I don't know which angel told me to check the receipt. So my friend, I always am with the friend of the LGBT community. I just need to have inclusion. Said, you know, just sit down. We'll find it. I looked at the receipt just to make sure I was overcharged. I said, did this guy, he put G. Oh, girl, that's his name. He probably owned the register. I was a manager for years. I said, but it's on my receipt, like it's below the address and everything else. So it just so happened he was wiping the table. So I said, is your name G? He said, no, why would you call me that? And I'm just like, well, why would you call me that? Because that's what you put on the receipt. My friend was like, Sierra, don't make it a big deal. I was just like, what? I mean, if you asking everybody their name, you know what I'm saying? And I did like the guy, so maybe that's why I went too hard in. But I was just like,
Mhm.
so why would you not A, not B, not C. You put it to G, and I kind of felt like that was a little taking me back to my starving grounds. So I was just like but I guess in his mind he was just like, well, I just put something down. You're not like you ordered a whole meal. You just had one drink, and I was just like, but you had a line, so. You kind of, how was you gonna call me there? He said, well, you came, we was really going at it to the point where I just was like, I almost about to give my money back, but my friend had to just take me out there. So, but church calms me down, so I do
Mhm.
to go there
Okay.
to because at that moment I was feeling like maybe it was a misunderstanding,
Mm.
but the energy from the jump was me and this girl. I was like, "Well, I love your hair. Do y'all have frosties?" I wanted her to take my order. He said, "No, I got her." So it just was that from the jump. So I was just like,
But
"Okay."
he referred to you as her.
He did, but I was just
Okay.
saying, like, I wanted the girl to take my order, but he pushed her off. It was like, "I got her. I got her order."
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
was
right.
just
So, okay. So I'm hearing that potentially there's work to do on how you show up. So, well, let me ask you this question and then I'm going to circle back to kind of like the church, right? Because our time is almost up. But how do you in life want to show up? Because I think this is a representation of, of all things, right? Like, how do you want to be in your life?
I want to be positive and influential. I want
Mm.
to, definitely a role model. I don't want to be popping off at everybody because then one day you're gonna, you know, be in a situation. But I just feel like I've been so quiet and I'm so nice. I'm like, why would you even do that? But I just want a different defense mechanism, And people
Yeah.
just kill them with kindness. So I'm just like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it.
Okay. Well, I mean, killing with kindness, is definitely a way. And Michelle Obama says when they go high, when they go low, you go high, that kind of thing. And so I think that Kill them with kindness is one way to even start. But I love the fact that you feel that you get strength from the church. And so what I want to know is I want to go back to your friend's church, and I want to know if this is a church that you think that you can go to, or do you want to start and continue to search for something that would be good for yourself.
Um, since it's close to my home, I think I need to stay. I really wish she didn't move, but I think I'm going to go back and just try
Oh.
to reach out.
And so, you know, if you go to the church, what can you do to make connections?
I definitely could be more involved. Like I definitely could see if they need um, volunteering or helping with anything, or you know,
Mhm.
extend an olive branch. Girl, all this testosterone need to calm down. I be feeling like that. I just feel like yeah,
I
like
mean, because what you said to me is you want to show up as positive in the world. And so, one of the things that if I can, share with you is that we you have, the life that you live and who you are automatically for this world causes people to not act in decency and in order, right? And that's just unfortunate. But here's the thing. If you want to show up as a positive light and you want to be in control of your own life, you have to then only focus on your behaviors,
right.
right? Yes. Now I'm not saying that everything that somebody does to you is right and you shouldn't say something, but there may be some battles that you don't want to fight just because it's so many. Right. And if this church can help you become the person that you want to be, and you understand that the church is just a part of church, we all can have our own personal relationship with God, period. Right. You don't necessarily need a church to have your own personal relationship with God, but you said you believe in community.
I
Right.
do.
You believe in community. So what's the first thing you're gonna do?
Join the House of Kiki. You need your own member. Hey, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus.
Negative, negative.
Girl,
It's too funny.
I definitely want to just like reach out. I got one person's number. She has been totally respectful. So I'm sorry, Lana, and I'm gonna, I guess I have to trust someone.
Okay. I
I
like
have I'm trying to just, take it down and just
yeah.
really, you
I'm
know.
proud. I'm so proud of you for doing that. So let me ask you, what is your biggest takeaway from our session today?
My biggest takeaway is that, you just definitely broke down some barriers, and definitely made me realize that in a nice way that, I definitely have some, I'm the problem, but I just, one thing I will always remember that she said is about the morals and ethics and stuff, and stating that, one of the biggest values that I have in the church is the community, because as much as I may hate them, if something happens to me, they might be the people that check up on me. So, you
Yeah.
know, maybe like you said, maybe a way that I could just not worry about no one's actions but my own.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we can.
I was like, okay, maybe everybody's right, but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because we can't control what other people do, but we can control what we do, and we can
yeah,
control our reactions. And as a matter of fact, your response to things is your responsibility. And I
right.
don't want to ever give anybody enough power over me to make me act out outside of the way that I value.
Take you out of character, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so, what is the biggest takeaway, or the biggest thing that you learned about yourself?
Through all of this, I learned that, I am resilient. I didn't even know what that word meant. I just used like context clues when you said it. And I was just like, girl, I'm not like you. But then I was like, oh, I guess I do handle something. Like I just brush them off and pay less attention to
Very
things.
good.
Try to um, work on that more and just,
Mhm.
because even with Jehovah Witnesses, right, doing something, they still have to pull it together. So
Mhm. I
just
like that.
soul search.
Awesome. I love that. And at the end of the day, I just want to commend you for number one, being courageous enough to just show up and share your truth of who you are. And to me, I think any church in the community would be lucky to have you in their community. And so I'm proud of you. I wish you all the best in your journey of where you're headed, and with potentially this new church home in your community. Thank you so much for joining me for this very, very first live coaching
And
session on the
I'm
Dr. Kiki
nervous,
Ramsey Show.
nervous just like in church to be on here because I was like, oh my God, it's the comments, oh my God, this. But I was like, I did it. And I'm glad you embarking with that and held my hand through this experience. So I'm so appreciative.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. So thank you. So, y'all, we did it. It's a wrap. We did our first live coaching session on the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show. If you would love to be coached live on the show as well, just like Sierra, you can go on the website, and on the podcast page, there is a place where you can click to become a guest and to be coached live on the show. And so I thank you all for being here. If you are a woman, and you are a professional and you really want to up level your career and take your life to the next level, I invite you to join me in my new course called Thrive, Transform Your Life and Career. It's launching on July the 19th. The early bird special is still going on right now. So I would love it if you all hopped in and enrolled right now. And then also join us in the Happy Women Lead community at happywomenlead.com. I love y'all. I love my community. And if this was of value to you and you love watching Sierra go through this process, please share this with somebody, because my whole goal is to help people transform their life and career. And thank you so much, Paula. Paula said, great job. You're courageous. And so thank you, Sierra, for being on the show. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate you all. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.